What's up, party people? Welcome back to another episode of Dance Specific
Whoop,
Talks.
whoop, whoop! Fire, fire! What do you
I
do?
am, I am, I'm tired, man. I'm here, but I'm tired. And so I'm owning up to it by saying, hey, man, it's tiring
It's
out there.
tiring. It's
But
tiring.
but it's also because we do a lot of fun stuff.
That's it.
So,
That's it. That's
you
it.
know,
It all comes with a cost, even the good, even the good stuff.
yeah. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. I'm doing amazing. I was had a very unique day yesterday. I trained, I danced, I trained, had a lot of coaching calls, had two onboarding calls, had two new students, and then I went to a private dinner at the palace of the president. So I
Of course
shared.
you did.
So I shared the. I had a dinner next to president's two son that was hosted by the first lady of Cape Verde. So that's how I spent my Thursday night.
Casual
True
Thursday
story. True
night.
story. True story.
Of course, I don't doubt that for a second. It's just things you somehow manage to get involved in.
Call it Thursday
So,
or here.
so in Jamaica they say thirsty Thursdays,
Yeah, here
So,
we call it sextinha because sexta-feira in Portuguese means Friday. So sextinha is like little Friday.
does that not start already on like Tuesday, Wednesday
Also,
in Cape?
it depends on what island. Every day is sextinha.
That's so nice. Well, nice. Did you, so how was the
Yeah,
hangout
it
with
was
the
good. It was
first
good fun. It
lady?
was good fun. Yeah, I met her before. I have a pretty good, I have a pretty good relationship with her. She's a lot involved in mental health, and because of the projects I've been doing here in Cape Verde, that's how I got in contact with her. And she was there when I had my TEDx talk also. So that, and I did. So I did my TEDx talk for her in English on TEDx, and then I also did it in the House of Parliament in Creole, which is the native language of Cape Verde. And that was a year ago. And then yeah, things have just been, I met her at different events. She's very friendly woman, and yeah, that's it. That's it. So it was
Wow.
cool. It was cool. Yeah, it's always interesting. It's always interesting to go to these types of events that are very formal, right? I met the
Mm.
first lady of which more? I met the first lady of Mozambique, the first lady of Burundi, and the first lady of Nigeria, also, and the presidents, of course. So yeah,
What, on this dinner?
yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
It was the gathering of the first ladies and
yes,
Sebastian.
yeah, basically. yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
you're so random. You're so
Yeah,
random.
that was good fun. It was good fun. It's not the first time I
Oh,
meet. I met the president and the prime minister and like the what is that? They're not royal. What are they? They are the whatever they're called. Yeah, whatever that's called in English, right? Like the upper echelon of the Cape Verdean high
mm-hmm,
society.
mm-hmm.
Several times. I know some of them by name, and they know me by name. So it was good fun, good fun.
Nice.
Nothing crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, good fun.
I mean, they should all know by now this crazy Swede Cape Verdean that
Come
is
on,
rolling around their islands, stirring
come
shit
on.
up. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I feel. I would
That's what
say
we all
it
feel.
was so it was good fun. Always inspiring to be around just people that want to elevate mental health, and then
Mm.
like end of the day, it's politics. So it whatever agenda they had on the other side of this dinner is what it is. But
Mm.
overall, it was a good moment. It was a good moment. Came home, had a good night's sleep, and then I just woke up and just ranted on. My business partner David just woke up.
Tapped in.
Yeah. Straight away, straight away. So exciting times. Yeah, I feel inspired, and but even though if I feel a bit tired, I'm still excited of life.
Mm. I feel like this time of the year, like we're coming up to the end, now it's like the last month coming up, and you can either be like, oh, I've been running on a finish line type of like, half falling into the holidays of just exhaustion, or this is the time where like the things brewing up
Yeah.
kind of thing. I like to spend this time booking stuff, as
Booking.
in like booking studios, booking events, talking to people I want to collaborate with, and I feel like
Yeah.
I'm gonna have that as like my end of the year type of feeling. Is like I want to be in it so that I know for next year, because otherwise the next year starts off and you're kind of just trying to catch up, you
Yeah.
know. So I just want to end this year with knowing that like I have at least three things, courses or events or something going on, so that you can like take holiday in peace and just know
Nice.
that like I have something to work on when I come
Yeah.
back.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. You take a long holiday this year?
I'm going 2 weeks to Barcelona.
Nice.
Barcelona.
Bye.
Yeah. So we wanted to just escape the Christmas gifts and the hectic lives that can come with visiting home. And so people are actually visiting us in Barcelona. So we have my
Nice.
mother-in-law coming, we have Anosh and her man coming, and yeah, we're just gonna chill there. And I've found this amazing app with home swapping, which is the best thing ever, where you can get like you can just book people's homes as long as you have a home that you can also let out.
Okay.
Then you can just book homes like super cheap, like very great homes, way better than Airbnb and stuff. So I'm very
Okay.
excited to try this new way of traveling. So yeah.
Nice. Nice, nice, nice.
Yeah. Yeah, so today we are going to talk about age and everything that comes with age. How do we grow older gracefully in a scene that, well, predominantly we connect with youth, maybe? And how do we stay good in growing older? And how do we like talk about wisdom as something that is cultivated through age, through experiences. Um, One post that really inspired me to talk about this is that Albir have started to post small snippets on his Instagram where like he just says that like sometimes people ask me if it's not time for me to get out of the scene to make room for new teachers. And he's like, but I have cultivated all this wisdom, like, and I love what I do still. And yes, there's new room for new generation, and it's challenging me to stay present and to develop myself. But why would we want to push out the people that get older just because of age when these are the people who are also holding our knowledge about the culture? And I thought to myself, that's such a good thing. Nobody has ever said, like, oh, we have to get rid of the hip hop legends to make room for new people. I mean, the new people will come, but they are like key people for us to remember the culture.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to like throw it out there to you. Like, how do you see aging within dancing and so on?
Yeah. I So it's a when it comes to the Afro-Latin dancing, it's a dichotomy, right? Because the scene is not old. It's a young scene still. Like the whole festival developed scene that exists right now, it's what, 15 years? Bachata sensual, like give it like 15, perhaps 20, with Alemana being one of the first ones, Atacan Alemana, doing the whole festival with bachata specifically. And then Kizomba, it's even younger. Salsa is probably a bit older, with Editores being one of the first traveling and teaching internationally. But the majority of the people that start dancing Afro Latin specifically are not young. It's not like hip hop where the majority is in their 20s, right? In that are traveling and battling and all of that stuff. That's not the case for bachata or Afro Latin rather. So people start a bit older. So even though there is space for older generation of people, there is still some type of perhaps stigma or maybe even like preference that the artist should be at least youthful. Um, and I'm not even sure if it's youthful we're looking for. I think it's more health, like vibrant, perhaps, like that type of vibrant energy. That's what we want. That's why Scandinavians or people from other culture wants to go into this Afro-Latin world, because it's that vibrant energy exists there, right? And truth is that a lot of people lose that with age. A lot of people can't hold up that with age, just because they don't take care of themselves. And it's not that age is like, oh my god, now I'm 35, I can't do this shit no more. It's like, no, it's just that you never took care of yourself. You never invested time and effort into your body or your nutrition, and then as a result of that, and you're traveling every weekend and you're drinking every weekend and you're jumping in
Mm.
between time zones, you're lacking sleep. So as an artist, like, that takes a beating of your body, right? I mean, if you look at the older generation of this bachata sensual, or Afro-Latin rather, generation, they are in their, like, they're not even in their 40s, but their bodies have been used, so they are
Mm.
running into walls right now, a lot of them.
Mm.
And I know this because I usually coach them, right? Versus when it comes to myself, I'm doing things right now that I could never do before, and I'm still in my early 30s, like 33, but I can do things now that I couldn't do when I'm just 4 or 5 years ago. And that is just because I
Mm.
invest in my body and I take care of it, right?
Mm. Do you think that people automatically goes like, well, if I couldn't do it then, how would I ever want to try to do it now,
Oh
kind
yeah.
of thing?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. People
Mm.
have extreme limited beliefs, and
Mm.
our truth is that people are lazy. Like, that is what it comes down to.
Mm.
People are too lazy to learn new things and very settled. And even if we, as dancers, are more active than like the normal person, the excuses are the same. The excuses are the
Mm.
same. It's like, oh, like I travel every weekend, so I don't have time to train. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, oh, but
Mm.
I also teach at night. It's like, yes, so it's like, so you tell me you're the only person in the planet that do this and still stay in shape, or like still take care of yourself? Like, I'm not saying you got to hit
Mm.
the gym 2 hours per day. Obviously not. That's not what I'm promoting. I'm promoting health, you know.
Mm.
But people are lazy. People want to be comfortable, and that if you were very comfortable in your 20s and you never really pushed yourself, and then you stumbled upon this thing called Afro-Latin, and then you had this style, and now you became famous, and then all of a sudden you started traveling, and that started spiraling, and things went very fast, and then now you're traveling every weekend, and now all of a sudden that's overwhelming for you. So
Mm.
like, that you're just too, I guess the word is arrogant, honestly, to take care of your body and just believe that you're gonna have this youthful energy until the end of your life,
Mm.
right? And then at some point you gotta deal with the consequences.
Mm. I mean, I speak for myself. I feel like it's very hard to imagine myself, like in 10 years. I want to, obviously have a great body and have all those things done for me. But it wasn't until, so you know this, but I just got my first like gym membership in my life.
Yeah,
Like I think that I'm a very typical example of someone who was like predominantly only been dancing or trained with dancers. So station training or body weight training, but with dancers,
yeah,
It's very few times in my life where I have uh, done something else, maybe yoga or, a boxing class, but
yeah,
like it's not something consistently. So I got this gym membership mostly because they have a daycare in there. But now when I'm there, it's so interesting because it's like a club, like, and I can tell that it's a lot of older people that are there. And so I was in this changing room with two ladies, and then suddenly they started talking. And then the older woman asked what I would say that also the older woman, like, oh, like, but oh my gosh, you're only 63 years old. Oh, you're in your prime time, girl.
let's go,
And
baby.
the woman was then like, but how old are you then? And she's like, I'm 81. And I'm just standing there and I was like, I'm sorry, ladies, but I just want to say that this is very motivational. I'm just so inspired that I get to share this moment with you here in this locker room because you are basically a reflection of me, but in 30 years and in 50 years. Like it was just
Yeah.
so hard to
Yeah.
imagine
And that's
that.
the thing.
Yeah, I just saw them in front of me, and like the older woman, she's like, it takes longer for me to get dressed, get on the bike, and get undressed in this weather than it is for me to be at the gym. But it doesn't matter. I'm here. And I'm like, that is inspirational.
You know?
Inspirational. Yeah.
And then you have people in their 35s saying like, "Oh no, I have chronic knee pain." It's like, what are you talking about? You're
Mm,
just repeating things that people have told you.
mm,
I'm 36, and it's much harder once you reach your 30s. It's like that is so not true. That is so
mm,
not true. What are you telling yourself? Like
mm,
that's not the case at all. It's like I'm way stronger than I was when I was in my 20s. What are you talking
mm,
about? Like I have
mm.
10, like me versus Sebastian 20. Like I was wilder when I was in my 20s. Like I might have done, being just like naturally had more like natural things for me, but I'm way stronger today. What are you talking about? I have 10 years
Yeah.
plus of training extra versus Sebastian when he was 20. Like,
Yeah.
and then you have people in their 60s doing these, people in their 80s
Yeah.
doing these. But then I think that's the thing with dancing, right? And then or not, it's not even dancers, it's just like humans. You just want to define, like, just put yourself in this box, and then you know like
Mm.
I have a hard time accepting it, or like I don't accept it. I call bullshit. I call
I
bullshit.
guess that's why you decided to be a coach, to
Yeah, yeah,
coach
yeah.
people
No,
out of the
but of course,
bullshit.
of course, of course, of course, of course, of course, that's one of the
Yeah.
reasons. Of course, of course.
Yeah.
But like, just listen to what you're saying. Like, here is somebody who's 81 hitting the gym.
Mm.
It's like, no, but I can't. Like, but it's not fun or whatever. Like, there are some like whatever excuse people are using, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I was in the circle training group and I was like the youngest one.
There you go.
And like the majority was gray haired. So I'm
Mm,
assuming they're like about 65 and up.
yeah.
And, of course, like they couldn't maybe lift as heavy or stuff, but they did all the stations.
There you go.
They just did different versions of it. And I'm
Yeah.
like, if I don't start doing all of that now, how am I gonna do that
You'll never be that
in
person
40
if you don't do it.
years?
Exactly. You'll
40
never be that
years.
person if you don't do it now.
No,
And
no,
it's the
no,
same
no.
thing. It's the same thing. I was teaching in. I went to the other island. So I'm in the capital in the southern islands called Santiago, but my family comes from the northern islands called São Vicente. And I was a TEDx speaker last year in TEDx Mindelo, and this year I was a TEDx speaker coach. So I coached some of the speakers this year. And then I was at the islands. I'm like, hey, let me teach. So I contacted the dance community and said, I'm here. I should teach. Let's meet up. 15, 20 people came. Super nice. And I'm the oldest with like
Mm,
a good 10 years. But what are you talking about? Like, oh,
mm,
they are so much healthier than I am, or they have so much more. No, no, I have 10 years more of experience. It's like, I have so many tools that you guys don't have.
mm,
Like, you might not need to warm up as I do, but you're not stronger than me. You don't have more energy than I do. You don't have more,
mm.
flexibility or skills or whatever the case may be. It's like, no, that's not the case.
Yeah,
But people are so busy defining themselves by the age, and it's like, like, oh my God. Oh my God. Like, yeah, I don't buy
yeah.
it. I don't buy that shit.
It's also interesting because it's all in the fine tuning, right? So what we talked about before of like, but that like our muscles have this memory and we're fine tuning it, just like how a pianist in their 60s are celebrated because obviously somebody who has been training their fingers for decades
Yeah.
compared to someone who's 20. And I mean, not saying that natural talent doesn't exist, but you can also live on only knowledge. I think that I have a natural talent in one sort of way, but I trained everything that I do now. Like,
Yeah.
why can my legs last in high heels for several hours when it didn't when I was 20? I just couldn't. Like after 1 hour, I was done, you know. And now I can be for hours and hours because my whole body has like adapted to that and knows how to change and knows how to not get tired and knows where to pull the energy from. So shout out to the people out there. If you have been dancing for a long time, big up your damn self for still
Yeah.
being there and showing out for them youngsters, because I think you're very much needed to have a wide spectrum of dancers.
Yeah.
So yeah, shout out,
Yeah,
shout
yeah.
out, shout out.
Shout out to you. Shout out to you. And if you're one of those people complaining, stop complaining. Start doing the work. At some point, you have to do the work. There's no way.
Yeah.
There's no other way around it. There's no other way around
And
it.
talking about that, I think that's something that so you can train to keep going, and then you can keep going on like some kind of inner fire. This week I had fire as my theme of my class on my lady styling. And fire, if we talk about the element, if we just talk about metaphorically speaking for a second, fire that is like uncontrolled can kill us, right? It can kill us in forest fires, but it can also kill us on the inside. Uncontrolled fire turns into, you know, the stress, the cortisol, or the adrenaline that we are running on. It's great when it's controlled and executed well. It's life saving. In the outer world, it's life saving. It gave us hot food. It gave us warmth and being dry and all of this. And same for the inside fire. When we're using it right and we put our passion and that inner fire into like the right pockets in our life, it can nourish us. But I do think that some artists, in this sense dancers, we go on a fire and you see them in battles and you see them in performances, and then one day they're just gone.
Yeah.
And I think that that's where we see like fire that has been very explosive and very strong also can like eat you up on the inside. It can burn you from the inside.
Yeah.
And one day you burned out. And that's why we now also see a lot of burnouts within the scene of people that are business owners or that are touring artists, that also are not, they're not able to go on
I remember
for
telling
X, Y,
this.
Z
Yeah, I
reason.
remember saying that to Judith, the creator of Chat Sensual, like about probably 10 years ago. And I said, like, just wait until everybody in this scene becomes 35, brada. All of them, because everybody's gonna suffer. They have no backup. Everybody's trained, everybody's traveling internationally. Your body cannot sustain that mentally or physically. Just wait. And it's happening. It's happening right in
Mm.
front of us. No backups. Trust me, it's
Yeah.
impossible to keep traveling every. And I felt that first year, second year I did it. So I started traveling.
Imagine La Alemana that has traveled for 12 years
And she don't want to do it no
when
more.
I interviewed her, when I interviewed her in COVID. That's a long time ago.
Yeah. No, she's 15 years deep and she don't want to do it no more. She wanna find
Mm.
other ways of a revenue stream. I mean, this is why she's doing OnlyFans, no? Like other ways to finding revenue coming in. You don't want to travel all every weekend. And it's gonna be that for all of them. It's gonna be that for all
Mm.
of them. And truth be told, it's like a lot of these artists are not happy. A lot of artists are not happy. They're not satisfied with their lives. They are they are in prison with this lifestyle that they have created for themselves. And I understood that early. I understood that early, so I took a step back fast. I traveled in 2017 a lot. In 2018 I did 38 international travels. 2019 I was supposed to do even more, and I remember canceling everything. I canceled it on the day. It's like, I'm not coming. They're like, yeah, but then you need to fuck it.
What was it that made you come to that
just
point?
just
What was
stress just stress. It's like, what am I doing? They're like, what's happening? I'm doing this for freedom. Freedom is one of my highest values, right? So it's like, I wanna do me. I wanna travel. I still wanna travel, but I'm not healthy. I'm not happy. I'm stressed. Like
Mm.
I'm not eating properly. I'm not feeling myself. I have pain in my back. I don't even have time to recover. I don't like my sleep schedule is all over the place. I'm feeling stressed. I have anxiety. Like, no, this is not worth it. What do you get? What are you doing? What are you talking about? I was in Russia last week. Now I go to America, and the week after that, and next week I'm going to Chile.
Mm.
What are you talking about?
Mm.
Like, that was really the schedule. Is like I go to Russia, I go to back to Norway, I go to America, New York, then I go back home, then I might go to China. Like, wait, what is happening? Like,
Mm.
no, this is not what I want to do. I feel terrible. I'm not sleeping. There's way too much like junk food, and I'm not being taken care of properly.
Mm.
Like how I want to eat or how I need to eat to take care of my body is like, this is not worth it. I'm out. Now there is
Yeah.
now when I'm coming back into this more mature, it's like, okay, but if I'm doing this, I need to do this. There are like frameworks that I need to hold, right? So,
Mm.
like, I'm not gonna go from Japan back to Europe and then do China the week after or 2 weeks after. The hell no, hell no,
No.
hell
That
no.
also affects so much more, like something that I mean, again, also like these artists, it's very easy to be very critical on how artists are behaving at festivals, how like, oh, that no, I don't like this artist because he always says no, or I mean, I've also been there where I'm like, why is this artist having this attitude? Like he or her is always so like distant. And I'm like, I can't even imagine. Like I remember doing it also, and I just did it for like also 6 months, where we went back to back to back to back in different countries and festivals and this and that. And yeah, I mean, you just kind of lose yourself a little bit in the process, right? Of like you can't it's impossible to get enough sleep, and you can't really have relationships because you're traveling. And on top of that, like
There you go.
biology talking, I think that especially for women, to not, if we are traveling between different time zones all the time, so your body is like constantly in a jet lag, like in biology wise, it affects like how fertile you are. So if you
And this
maybe
is the
one day
reason.
later on wants to create a family, like yeah, there's people is gonna have some
This is
problems
the
as
reason. I'm
well.
not gonna throw anybody under the bus because I'm a professional. So I'm not gonna name drop people. But a lot of the people that you see dancing internationally in the Afro Latin dance scene have stress problems. A lot of the women have constipation problems, so they're not digesting properly. So they can't go to the
Mm.
toilet. They can't do all these things. They have hormonal imbalances, and I can give you probably 6 to 10 names off the top of my head that I've coached and I know this about. Some of them can't have children. Some of them are constantly, burned out, acne
Depression.
problems,
Mm.
depressed, losing hair. It's like, why do you think that is?
Mm.
Why do you think that is? This is not by
Mm.
coincidence. Why? Because they are all reaching in their up mid 30s right now, and it's not the same anymore.
Mm.
And everything comes with a price. And
Yeah.
if you took that choice, and this is gonna sound a bit harsh perhaps, but if you took the choice because it was a choice to live this type of lifestyle, you are in no position to complain about the effects of that. I don't think so. You are obviously
Well, you can at least you can complain when they're coming, but you should at least know
you
that
should have and
eh,
it can't be news for you. And if it
mm,
is news for you, then at some point this is still your responsibility, was your life.
mm,
So like maybe I should look into like, okay, well, what are the effects of just jumping between a gazillion different time zones every month?
mm,
Now, you know what you want with that. But everything, and it's the same with me. Like I'm building a company, like I'm building a company and we're going all in. Like we're launching this new product that I truly, truly, truly believe in. And we're launching it in the beginning of next year. And but it comes with a cost. It comes with a cost, right?
Mm.
As like I cannot sit here and complain about that I don't see my family enough when I've been traveling the world for the last 14 years. It's like I'm in no
Mm.
position to complain, right? I'm in no position to complain that I don't have enough memories with my family. No, like that is a choice I've taken. Now it was either that choice or to feel mentally ill. So I did it
Mm.
for myself, but I have to stand by it. So complaining, like, no, you have to deal with the consequences. These are
Mm.
consequences of your actions. And it
And
sounds
that's so
harsh, but it's the
sad.
truth. Yeah, but it's the truth. It's the
Yeah,
truth.
it is, but it's just hard to imagine the options, right? So
Yeah,
like it's just sad that dancers that choose this art form as their life don't really have a lot of options. Like either you are famous, you have a lot of followers, you're getting booked, you're having like the top of your career, and you have to sacrifice everything we just mentioned.
yeah,
Or else what? Or else what? You know, like, okay, you can run a dance school at home, and a lot of people do that too. So, like, they are not only out there traveling on the weekends, and they are also running dance schools at home. Like, we know many of them. And for example, my friend Shamalo, he's running a dance school in 3 different cities in the Netherlands while traveling almost every second weekend. And he has a family. Like it's no wonder that people are getting burned out. But what are the options if you want to keep doing dancing? I'm thinking
yeah.
about the people that are doing like for example, the Afro-Latin connection in Portugal, they do more like teacher trainings where people come to them. Like, I guess that could be an option, but otherwise than that, it's hard. Like, you either
It
need to
is
have like
hard.
a very local, big community to work with, or you have to do like a lot of privates, or you have to do like Laurent that have the online Kizomba school, like you have to have something online. There is not a lot of crazy options
It's not a
as
lot of crazy
dancers.
options, but if you took responsibility and you looked at your life and you looked at the people before you and you said, "Hey, what's gonna happen here? Where am I going?" I remember
Mm.
clearly when I'm in my early 20s, 22, 23, somewhere around there, and I come from a respected hip hop crew. It's called Left Sound, and we had Marjorie was in our home, Sugar Pop, Link, Khalif, Shannon, you name it, the whole Elite Force crew, Electric Boogaloos, Pete, etc., etc., etc. All of them are in our home a lot during that time because we're living in Norway. And there was a moment when I have to ask myself, it's like, okay, but what am I doing? So I'm 20. These people are in their 50s, 60s doing this. Cool. What are they doing? Traveling the world. Cool. Do I want to sit here? Do I want to change place with them in when I'm that old? No,
Mm.
because that's the trajectory I'm going in. That's the lifestyle I'm choosing. I'm choosing this lifestyle. And I have no backings right now. I don't have any education. I don't have any other business. I'm going to be them. I'm going to be them.
Yeah.
And then, but, and then if you designed your life to a point where you've booked yourself up every weekend because it was nobody else that booked you, you booked yourself. And you also decided to have a dance school. And you also decided to have it in several different cities with no real like systems in place. So like you can outsource and you can just like, delegate, and you're a CEO, you're not a, running in between. You don't have any mentor and you have a family.
Mm.
At what point does that, well, like you have to understand that you're going to burn. You have to understand that you're going to burn out.
Maybe we should bring him in on the podcast
Please,
and talk
please,
with him
please. I would
because
love to. I
I
would love
had
to.
I had I had him as one of my first guests on this podcast, and that
Nice.
was like COVID.
Yeah.
So it would be really, really cool to see
You
like
know,
years later now
and then of
what is going
course,
on.
like, do I
Yeah.
do I feel for him? Of course I do. Yo, like I'm not unhuman. It's not what I'm here saying. It's not the point of what I'm trying to communicate, but it comes with a responsibility. Like
Mm,
I've had several times when I've some things have triggered me, and I got back into feeling anxious or depressed or whatever the case may be. Whose fault was that? It's not the
mm,
world. It's not the dance community. It is my fault. It is my fault. It is that simple. Like I have to take responsibility over that, because it's the same thing as like, whose fault was it that I had was booked and traveled the world? Whose fault was it, or what was the reason that I moved home to Madonna? That is me. The success is
mm,
mine, but then the failure is also mine. I have to own
mm,
that, right? And again, like it doesn't mean that I don't feel for them. Like I have a mom who is like dealing with. My mom is overworking and or close to burnout for the second time or third time. That like that sucks, but it's nobody else's fault than her. It's her
mm,
responsibility. She needs to take responsibility for that. And then of course you can guide people, and like I'm coming on pretty with some tough love right now, but it's nobody else than you.
mm,
Is nobody else than you. And I'm certain that that the people that are going through it understands that. At least they will understand it sooner than later, right?
yeah.
And again, like I wish people nothing but the best, but if you work a gazillion hours every week, you don't take any days
Mm,
off, you decided to create a family, and you decided to open a dance school, and you decided to book yourself, and you
mm,
you you don't do like the necessary thing to like maintain your sanity. Hey, now I'm very
mm,
proud of now, like, if I'm not referring to Shamalu, by the way, but now
mm,
Shamalu, like I'm super proud of him for taking this personal responsibility and pausing, saying, hey, I need to start taking care of my body. I thought I could do this, but I couldn't. I thought I could do all of this thing, but I can't. And that's
mm.
that's man points right there. Taking a step
That
back and saying
is
like, yo, like I gotta rest, like this is not working. I thought it would work, it didn't work. Sorry, boom, I'm out. Boom, I gotta take care of myself. I got a family to take care of.
100%. 100%. And I also think that we have a tendency to say, but you're doing that fun things, you know, and that's the biggest misconception about burnout. It's like it's only when you work with boring things that you can burn out. No, it's the people that love what they're doing most of the times that are burning up. The most ambitious teachers, the most dedicated like I have one now, a student of mine that is like a teacher in school facing burnout. You have somebody who is like super good in what they're doing in any type of field. They're facing burnouts because they're so ambitious, they're so dedicated, and then either the resources that they need are not met, um, or that part of saying no to things that are fun is not happening.
Yeah.
One of the most impactful interviews I had was with a experimental dancer. He was one of the Just the Boo winners from back in the days. He has a battle here in the Netherlands um, for experimental dancers, and he's one of the most severe burnout people I've ever talked to. He said like that once he did so many projects within dancing and theater and this and that, one day, like he couldn't stand music.
Yeah,
Imagine that.
imagine.
Like he had like severe, like it was like his nerves shut off his body when
Yeah,
he heard music because
crazy.
it was just too connected
Yeah,
to that stress.
yeah.
And I'm like, I can't imagine. That must be like your worst nightmare that the thing that you love
Worst.
turn into the thing that you are intolerant to.
Yeah. And then
Insane.
insane,
Insane.
insane. I'm fascinated by burnouts, that you can force your
Mm,
body to so hard that your mind decides to shut, so your subconscious mind decides to shut off your body because you are pushing it too hard. Like, how is that
mm,
like neurologically working? It's so fascinating.
mm,
Um, and I feel for people. I feel deeply for people that have reached that point. and don't know how to take themselves out of it, or
Mm.
may have even, because again, that's what festivals do to a case, is like you are a slave to the industry, and that is why, and there is no other metaphor that serves that better. Because again, I remember sitting saying like, hey, like I want to do this summer, and it's like, oh no, I can't. Why? I'm fucking booked. It's like, wait,
Mm.
I'm gonna miss my mom's birthday this year and next year, and now I'm already in 2023, and I'm looking into 2025, closing 2025. This is like,
Mm.
what the fuck are you talking about? And if
Mm.
that doesn't excite me, and I am forced to go there, like I'm a slave to the industry. And there's no other
Mm.
analogy that fits that word better.
Mm.
I'm the industry. I'm a prostitute to the industry. I'm getting pimped.
Yeah, but
No,
like the crown is very heavy to bear,
there you
right?
go.
Like the
There you
crown
go.
can also weigh you down so much. And yeah, so with that being said, I think it's very hard to criticize people for, how they teach or how they show up, but I do also hope that with this episode we can create a little bit more compassion
Yeah,
also
for sure.
for people are going through it, and it is
People are going
hard to
through it.
age. It's
Yeah,
hard to age without saying I'm out, and um without burning up, because you actually have to now carry all these balls, all
yeah,
these
yeah.
plates.
And
Yeah.
I really hope that like my again my stance on this is, again, like I work with this, right? Like I work with this exact type of thing. So I don't have my mind fixed on what's right or wrong, but I understand that like taking responsibility and personal responsibility is the only way for you to do this. Because if you continue to live in denial, saying that, oh, but I can't do this because I have to teach, I have to do the socials, I have to travel, I have to. It's like, well, if that's the case, then yeah, you're fucked. Like you then give up. Like you then yeah, sure. But that doesn't need to be the case. It's not
Mm,
the truth that you only can be a dancer and travel every weekend and have a dance school. That is not the only thing you can do. You can get a part-time job. Like you can have a
mm,
normal 9 to 5, 2 days a week. Wednesdays and
mm.
Thursday, you do a normal 9 to 5, so you have a fixed salary, and then you can travel every other weekend. There is a gazillion
Or
different
once a
ways to
month.
once a
Yeah.
month. Like you don't have to be every weekend festivals and new things and
Mm,
like no, that's not the truth. That's not the truth. You
mm,
can design your own life, but you have to be brave to do that. And the first step in doing that is to take responsibility. You are here because
mm,
you've made choices that ended up here. Now, the good thing with that is that once you owned it, it means you can do something about it because now it's yours.
mm,
But if you start blaming the industry like it's this thing over here that is controlling you and this monster, then you will never be able to get out of it.
mm. I guess that's with everything, with everyone, right? Like when you
Yeah.
start seeing life as something that happens to you
Yeah.
and not for you. Um, yeah, it's I shared this quote yesterday, I think, on my Instagram, which was like a quote which says like, I'm so sorry I pushed you so hard, but otherwise you would have never stopped or you would have never left. And then the quote was written by the universe.
Mm.
And it's like, yeah, we can also see it like that sometimes. Like Kevin Hart, right? When he like broke his back in this car in accident that he had with his new car, and yeah, I think that a lot of people that have a voice on social media, whatever, can say that. Like we have Dave Chappelle that left and was like, I need to stop,
And he's bigger than
and
ever.
he's bigger than
Chappelle is
ever.
bigger than
And
ever right now.
so that's the thing. And Kevin Hart came back stronger, like he kind of never left. And even though he had to recover like a broken spine and all this shit, like it's to take a break doesn't mean that you failed. It means that you need to find another way of doing things. So yeah, it would be really nice to talk with someone who's currently going through a burnout
Yeah.
or have come out of the other side, because they are the people with a lot of insights on how easy it can be to get there, but how hard it is to get out of it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's very interesting. It's very, very interesting. It's an endless. You can talk about this for hours. But again,
Mm.
if you have to be in charge of your life, if not, society is gonna throw you in a gazillion different directions, and you have to pay attention to the things that are happening inside of you. And I'm talking from experience because I felt that if I continue to travel the world like this, like a like a like a circus, like a clown at a circus, I am going to burn out. There's no other way
Mm.
for me to live if I continue to do this. So I
Mm.
have to stop. Fuck it. People are going to lose money. It might affect my reputation. Then so be it. Why?
Mm.
Because it's Sebastian first. It's me
Mm.
first. Like there's no other way. I have to. You have to. It's again very much easier said than done, especially when you've been living in a world where you believe that your own value is like directly correlated to the amount of people that you serve, and you are unworthy of love if you don't. But these are things that
Mhm.
you have to work with. Nobody
Mm.
else are going to work with this for you. You have to do this. And I'm not saying that it was easy or that it's not. It might be somebody else's fault. It might be the person that violated you as young, or your parents that didn't, whatever, didn't give you enough resources to work with. It might be somebody else's fault, but your life will forever and ever be your responsibility.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, we could definitely talk about this in a spiritual way, in a professional way. Like it's a very interesting topic, and I want to hear from the listeners. I saw that we had a comment on the dance. Is it escape or that episode? We had a comment like that people really liked the topic and got very touched by it. So I wonder, how are you people feeling out there about aging, about burnout? Like, do you see it a lot in your dance scene, wherever that may be? Yeah, comment on the episode. We'd love to hear from you. And now I also wanted to step into some Move That Soul. And last week it was my birthday.
Zer.
So I did a giveaway and I asked people to comment who they should think, who they think should have get the game as a gift and why. Why is this person so special? And I picked a comment from Stefania, and she basically said um that she wanted to gift it to her teacher because she's so much more than a teacher. She's like such a guide and inspires people and so on. So Judith in Romania got the game and I sent it
Nice.
yesterday. So I'm very excited to also just gift this game to other teachers because it's such a good game for people to play with their students. If you have camps, if you want people to get to know each other instantly and like create more of a connection, this game is like such a good icebreaker. So
Nice.
with all that being said,
It's
may I
time to
ask
move
you a
that soul.
question,
Please.
sir?
Please. Please. I have
We're
just
going
moved.
in.
So I don't have my move that
Yeah.
soul box with me. So T-zer are gonna ask one for me and one for herself today. Let's go.
Yeah. So we're going into the ask. We have, well, I've already asked you this question, so I'm going to take another one. In what ways can you be kinder versus harder on yourself in your dance journey?
I
In
think
what ways can you be kinder versus harder in on yourself in your dance journey?
I think it's quite hard for me to be it's quite hard for me to be harder. I whip myself quite heavily. Kinder. Well, I'm back. I'm actively practicing being kinder with myself when it comes to my dancing, actively. And I think it comes down to I got to control my internal dialogue better when I am in it. I can be very, or I have had the tendencies in the past to be very judgmental of what I'm doing while I'm in the show, right? And again, like I can backtrack that and I can say like, oh, it's probably that's the fault, right? Like I can point at the person that put me in that. But it doesn't mean that it's his responsibility to fix it, right? Like it's my responsibility to fix it. So what I do now is that I record it and I look at my dancing and then I try to look at it like neutrally. It's like, okay, wow, like that's really cool. Like, look at that. That was really cool. Okay, but next time I should do this. Okay, nice. I start to analyze my dance more and give myself positive feedback and harder with myself in my dancing. I mean, yeah, it's pretty tough. Like, I don't think it's healthy for myself to be harder in my dancing than I am right now. And I say that just because I'm pushing myself very hard. I'm pushing my body very hard. And I think you should demand more from yourself, not all, basically all the time. Basically all the time. If you're in this thing called artistry, you want to become an artist, keyword art. You only go to become a great artist if you dare to push yourself mentally. And a lot of people don't dare to do that because it's uncomfortable. But it is the only way to get there. So you have to be able to find a way to express the depths of emotions that most people don't dare to express. So if I'm looking at like my own facial expression while I'm dancing, it's pretty hard, right? Like I'm pretty just like I don't tell a lot of stories. Like I'm very just like boom, here we go, illusions, and that's what
Mm.
I like to do, right? But it comes to a point where okay, but if I really want to elevate my artistry, I have to start daring to express myself with my facial expressions. So that is a way I
Mm.
could yeah, with myself a little bit harder perhaps.
Mm. So actually challenge yourself to show maybe a deeper story
Yeah,
into the
yeah.
dance. Mm.
And perhaps even be more vulnerable in a sense, right? I think it's
Mm.
very easy for me to, you know, take my shirt off on stage and do a lot of body waves and leave. And that
Mm.
is what I've done, and that is what have taken me this far, and that is absolutely what I'm going to continue to do. But there, I can continue to develop that. I don't need to reinvent my entire dance, right? I'm not need to go and do like a theater piece on stage, for example.
Mm.
But there are rooms for more expressions, definitely.
Mm. Hmm. I like that. Nice one.
Thank you.
Can't wait to see more of that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask myself then, what do other dancers do that annoys you? And what does that reveal about you?
Ooh, what a good question.
Mm. What does other, yeah. So I think that I don't know if this has come with age. But I can just speak for myself within Kizomba right now, because that's what I'm basically mostly and only training at the moment. Um, it annoys me when people don't dare to take a break and to dance a little bit slower sometimes. As in, I love high speed dances and explosive dancers, but if you do not dare to take a break, even when the music has a break, they're gonna be a problem. I am very annoyed by people that just keep going, or you feel in their body that they are like, oh, come on, DJ, come on, DJ. No, like just take the break, challenge
Calma.
yourself, calm your tits and balls and all whatever you have. And just enjoy it, because this is where I feel that it reveals something about me, and that is that I kind of crave that depth now in another way than I did before. Like, I like to reveal that part of myself too, because it's very easy to just be like, T-zer dance, very big and very, it's a lot going on, and I'm very aware of that. But I do want to connect with that more myself, and especially when I am dancing as a follower. If we don't get that room because my leader constantly just want to go fast or just want to move on and not be in that little bit more uncomfortable, slower parts, um, I am getting annoyed because I want to explore that part.
Yeah.
And sometimes leaders can feel that in me because I slow us down purposely. Like, I will, if you're going to turn me, I will take that turn and I will hit it with a slow motion. And you can't do anything but wait then, because I need to turn. And I'm going to now turn 5 times slower than you anticipated because the music stopped. So I need to help us out to do something
Called
with this break,
musicality.
okay? So yeah, maybe that's a selfish, a bit egocentric part of me because am on this journey right now. But I do think that I challenge leaders quite a lot in this. And I always ask, like, can I give you some feedback? And then I always say, you have all these steps and you have all this tempo and you have all these tricks, but I want to see what is really you when there's no beat, because there's going to come moments in Kizomba where there is no beat. There is just a tone or a singing or a melody, and that's when the real you is revealed. And I want to feel that. And then I say, thank you.
You give feedback on the dance floor.
Yeah. I
Nice.
ask first though. I don't do it
Okay.
I always ask, and usually it's very positive, because I notice that the people that do trust it, when I come back the next time or the next dance, they are taking it more slow and they are daring to be vulnerable. And in that vulnerableness, you become a better dancer. So I'm very proud of the people who are humble enough to take feedback. I always like feedback myself. And it needs to be given in the right way. And for me, it's always about how can we elevate each other, you
Have
know?
anybody ever said no?
I can tell that sometimes they have said like, okay. And then I'm like, well, it's okay. It's a yes for me. And I say it. But sometimes you can tell that people are not ready to hear it. And
Yeah.
that's also fine. But I can say it. And then maybe one
You
day
do
in
what you
two
want with it.
years,
Yeah.
you will be like, oh, that's what she meant. And right now you don't understand it. Because people can only be where they are in their process.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that's it.
That's good. That's good. That's good. I don't give feedback on dance floor. I don't give. I don't. I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
No, because you dance one dance with people and then you're
That's what you
leaving.
do. It's
So
bachata.
yeah, yeah. Well, I do have time to give feedback because we dance way long. So
Yeah. Yeah. No. Hey, fun. You're a teacher also, so it's different. You teach also, right?
yeah, and I dance with everyone, right?
Mm.
Like I almost never say no. If I'm not leaving or changing my shoes or doing something else, I will always say yes. And that's something like a principle I have because it doesn't matter. Like I will adapt to the leader and I will try to my best to make us shine no matter what level that person is on. So yeah,
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Round of
man.
applause, T-zer. God damn it. That's awesome.
So, thank you, thank you, thank you. I mean, I'm not dining with the first ladies, but I am doing my workout here in the field
You
to
know,
make people feel better.
you're doing your part. You're doing your part.
Yeah.
It's
I
good
love
fun.
that.
It's good
Hey
fun.
man,
It's good
we
fun.
have a confirmed interview for next year, and we're gonna keep
Nice.
on bringing in these artists because I start feeling that we are ready to have some interesting guests on this podcast. If you have
Yes.
anyone out there that you want us to interview, please comment below. We are contacting everyone you're asking. Yeah, we can't guarantee they say yes or that our time schedules align. But we contact everyone that you are suggesting because we value your your opinions.
Value
So
our
keep them
listeners.
suggestions coming. And
Yes.
until then, keep dancing.
Keep
Keep
dancing.
dancing.
Keep dancing.
Yeah.
Dare to dig deeper.
Dare to dig deeper. Keep dancing and use those breaks. Don't forget to click subscribe, comment below, and give us a rating or review. We have a Facebook page, YouTube page, and we are on Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and all the other podcast platforms. We also have an Instagram, so don't forget to tag us in your favorite episode and share it with the world because we read all of it.